Uh, Welcome all of my students for the first chapter of the course CMB 558 as a information security for the summer class. We will start here for chapter 1, which is an overview for the security relation. In this chapter, we provide an overview of the computer security. We begin with the discussion of what we mean by computer security. In essence, that computer security deal with the computer-related assets that are subject to a variety of threats and for which various measures are taken to protect these assets. As we go, we would like to have a standard definition for computer security. Then we will go with the NIST, which is National Institute for Standard and Technology, Computer Security Handbook, define the term computer security as the protection afforded to an automated information system. Again, the protection, we would like to protect our information system. Then it defined as a protection afforded to an automated information system in order to attain the application objectives of preserving the integrity, availability, and confidentiality. Step by step with each other, we will see what's meant by data integrity, what's meant by availability, and what's meant by confidentiality. It's coming under the ISO standard security architectures, which will be coming step by step with each other. It means that again, we would like to protect the afforded protection afforded to an automated information system in order to attain the applicable objective of preserving the integrity, availability, and confidentiality of information system resources. That resources will include the hardware, the software, the firmware, the information data, and telecommunication. It means that when we talk about the information system resources, we talk about the hardware used for the information system, say, for example, as a server and workstations. The software used, when we talk about software, it means that we talk about the basic software and the application software. The firmware, the information and data, your data stored in your system, and also we would like to secure the communication between the end user. That communication can be through the telecommunication networks, can be local area network, can be metropolitan area network, or can be wide area network. Then we would like to go with each other how to secure our information through protecting the resources used for that information. Okay, let's go with the ISO standard, which is coming here. As the security architectures for open system. It means that looks like any standardization. Also, the ISO standard or ITU recommend architecture for the security. If we go here, we will see that the ITU, International Telecommunication Union, T, which is here telecommunication, recommendation X800, and security architecture for the open system interconnection. Then we will talk right now about the main three issues related to the security architectures coming from the ISO standard. Then the main three issues here If we go reverse here, this is security services and security mechanism and then security attack. As a security services, which is intended to counter security attack. We will see what is the different security services will be issued by the ISO. And also we will talk about the security mechanism designed to detect, prevent, or recover from a security attack. It means that we will talk about the security mechanism which is used to develop the security services. And then by the end we will talk about the security attack, and we will see with each other it's action that compromise the security of the information owned by an organization, the attack to your information. Then we will talk about the different type of attack, which is passive attack, active attack, internal attack, external attack, whatever. All of these we will come in details with each other. Then we will come back as a ISO standard is a systematic way of defining the requirement of security and characterizing the approaches to satisfying them. It means that defining the requirement for the security was developed as an international standard. Yes, when it comes from ITU-T or OSI, Open System Interconnection, or International Telecommunication Union, it means it will be considered as international standard. Let's go with the next slide here, which is the start by, we said that the main three issues is security services, security mechanism, and security attack. Then we go with the security services, which is defined by X800 or defined by RFC, which is request for comment 2828. As a X800 defines security services as a service that is provided by a protocol layer of communication or communicating open system and ensure adequate security of the system or for the data transfer. Let's go here. When we talk about layer of communication or communicating open system, it means that we will talk about the 7-layer protocol communication architectures, which is coming under physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, presentation layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. Then we may have a chance to talk about what's meant by IPsec, what's meant by secure socket layer, what's meant by secure MIME. All of these is the security over the layer of communication. IPsec on the 3rd layer, secure socket layer, transport layer security on the 4th layer, and secure MIME, one of the application security. When you go on the other side as a request for comment 2828 definition, which defines the security service as a processing or communication service that is provided by a system to give a specific kind of protection to system resources. Security services implement the security policy and are implemented by security mechanism. Here it is. When we talk about the main three issue, means we talk about security services, security mechanism, and security attack. Then to implement the security services, then we need a security mechanism. Then this is the definition for the security services. If we go with each other for the security services, which is X800 divided these services into 6 categories. If we look at that table here, we will see authentication, access control, data confidentiality, availability, data integrity, non-repudiation. Again, we have 6 categories defined by the X800 for the security services. We will go one by one, but initially we have here authentication, access control, data confidentiality, availability, data integrity, and non-repudiation. Let's go here with the authentication service. Then the first category of the security services, which authentication, which is concerned with assuring that a communication is from source that is claimed to be from, mean that identification, exchange of identity between the source and destination, must assure that the connection is not interfered with by a third party masquerading as one of the two legitimate parties. We would like to prevent any intermediate attack to impersonate himself as one of the two legitimate user. Then the first security services is authentication. Let's go second here, which is access control. Access control service, it means that we would like to control access of the resources you have, the ability to limit and control the access to host system and application via communication link. Mean that you have an external user, he would like to access through the network or through external link, then we would like to have a limitation for that access and control. Each entity trying to gain access must first be identified or authenticated so that access right can be tailored to the individual. Then go with the third category of the security services, which is non-repudiation service. Non-repudiation here, it means that we would like to prevent either sender or receiver from denying a transmitted message. Sometimes you have a source which is send a message which have a bad conflict at the destination, then he denied that I'm not sending this message. And also the receiver can prove that the alleged sender in fact sent the message. The sender can prove that the alleged receiver is in fact received the message. All of these we will come to the details for that one using what we call digital signature. Digital signature is used by private key which is owned by only the sender. Then it's used for non-repudiation services. Let's go here with the data confidentiality. When we go with the data confidentiality here, it means that we're looking for encryption, decryption. Then we would like the protection of transmitted data from passive attack. We will see what's meant by passive attack. We will see what's meant by active attack. We will see what's meant by internal attack. We will see what's meant by external attack. But here, we would like to protect our data or the protection of transmitted data from passive attack. The broadcast service protects all user data transmitted between two users over a period of time. It means that the broadcast, the sending information between the users, we would like to protect that data. Then we have what we call encryption, decryption. We will see with each other. Let's go here with the data integrity services, which is one category of the security services. When we go with the data integrity here, it means that we would like to receive exact what is sent. It means that no intermediate attack for the message transmitted and the change or damage or delay the information can apply to a stream of message, a single message or selected field within a message. A connectionless integrity or a connection-oriented integrity, whatever, then by the end, data integrity, we would like to receive exactly what is sent. No change, no delay, no damage. Availability here, it means we would like to have our system available for the legitimate user anytime, availability to access the information anytime. We would like to have continuity available of the service, a service that protects a system to ensure its availability. It means that defined as a property of a system or a system resource being accessible and usable upon demand by an authorized system entity according to performance specifications.